everybody, welcome into another edition of the WTOC First Alert Weather Podcast. Meteorologist Andrew Gorton here with Chief Meteorologist Dave Turley. It is Monday, and we've got a few things to talk about this week, Dave.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. Week starts out pretty quiet, but First Alert Weather Day coming up here. Then we're going to be talking about getting our St. Patrick's Day festivities started and a time change. So we have three things we're going to be kind of keeping you updated on in this First Alert Weather Podcast. But first, of course, we are going to start with what's happening now leading into our First Alert Weather Day.
Sure, started out cold this work week, some inland areas in the upper 20s, but gradually warming here through the middle of the week with some breezy conditions on the way as well. So we're kind of on the uphill climb for the next few days.
Yeah, keeping things pretty quiet here for our Monday into our Monday evening. Heading on into our Tuesday, what we're going to see is a warm front lifting through the area, bringing back those 70s, which we like to see, especially in our southern areas. It's also going to bring back a little bit more instability into the atmosphere. So by the time we get into Wednesday, things start to get a little bit interesting.
Yeah, so Tuesday is that window where we see a few isolated showers be possible there, mainly along the coast, but then it's widespread rain. That is the possibility with some storms in there as well for Wednesday.
Yeah, and that's going to be the main thing we're going to be watching. It's a First Alert Weather Day because the Storm Prediction Center already has us in what we call a slight risk, basically a 2 out of 5 on that severe weather scale, of seeing the potentially some strong to severe thunderstorms in here. And right now, the timing looks to be more of a morning hours.
Yeah, so it's going to be first portion of the day, which can be good in a sense that you're not getting the severe weather during peak instability or peak heating, so maybe it limits it a little bit. Still wouldn't be surprised if we had a few severe thunderstorm warnings, though, on Wednesday morning.
Yeah, and the main threat is going to be for some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, but you know, whenever you have a lot of this wind energy, outflow boundaries, you can never rule out an isolated tornado. So definitely want to make sure you're aware of that. It's First Alert Weather Day. Have those weather alerts turned on, whether it's on the WTOC First Alert Weather app, a NOAA weather radio. Just have a way to receive those weather alerts. So let's go ahead and time things out. Again, we're going to show you this. This is going to start at midnight on Wednesday. Fast moving line. It's not going to last all that long, but it'll move in from west to east, morning hours first. And then it looks like right now moving off the coast around that 1 o'clock hour.
Yeah, so maybe just after the morning commute for the Savannah area, more so mid to late morning around lunchtime. Of course, we're going to fine tune that as we get closer to it, but maybe not the best day to have recess outside if those storms time out right before lunchtime.
Yeah, and again, it's going to be a lot of wind, non-thunderstorm winds anyways, to be 25, 30 miles per hour. So we have a kind of a breezy, borderline windy day. And then, of course, you add in any of those thunderstorms, which could make things a little bit worse. But I tell you, once we get through that Wednesday, a lot of that First Alert 7-day forecast for the rest of the work week, at least, is looking pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to cool back down Thursday, Friday morning. Some 30s will be possible. Savannah and inland areas, probably not quite as cold as where we were Monday morning. And then this weekend, still a little bit of questioning there with the moisture and rain chances overall. No need to change any plans for this weekend, but a little warmer Saturday versus Sunday, which is just what we had this past weekend.
Exactly. And Friday, you see there, will be dry. It looks like it for the greening of the fountain, although a little bit cool. Looking at temperatures close to 60 degrees. We always have that greening right at noontime on Friday, and that will kick off our St. Patrick's season here.
Yeah, and it's crazy. We're already within 2 weeks of the start of the parade. It's going to be another interesting one on a Monday for me, Dave. I know we're coming off of a few that have been more so on the weekends. So those are a little more packed. It'll be interesting on a weekday. I know I've done them in the past before COVID, but how would you compare the two for like a weekday versus a weekend?
Well, I think you're going to have a little bit less people usually on Monday as opposed to, the 200th we had last year. I think it was on a weekend. So it was very, very crowded. But there's always a lot of people out there. And especially if you have the quiet, nice, dry weather, at least, it's just going to be a very fun day with a lot of people out there enjoying the parade and having themselves a good time getting in the St. Patrick's Day season.
Yeah, not a forecast, but curiosity got the best of me, and long-range models that go out that far show it dry. So we can only hope that is the
Fingers
case.
crossed,
But
yeah.
who knows at this point? It does take a lot more for it to rain than for it to be dry. So we'll see. But that's not even anything we'll talk about for another week.
No, yeah, that's a long ways out. Well, we're going to concentrate more on the First Alert Weather Day first, get you through this weekend, because once we get into the weekend, we do have a time change coming up here as well. Daylight saving time will begin at 2 a.m. on Sunday morning. So basically, before you go to bed Saturday night, we're turning those clocks forward 1 hour, meaning, you're going to lose that hour of sleep.
Yeah, I kind of find myself going to bed relatively early anyways on the weekends, so it's not the biggest of deals. I'm sure whenever it gets to Sunday night and I'm going to bed, I'm like, dang, weekend's already over.
I'm not looking forward to it. I like to have those sun out a little bit longer into the day. Now, when I get home, usually by around 7 o'clock in the evening hours, with Doug, our new puppy, we get to take him out for a walk now. So it'll be lighter longer, so we can actually take that evening walk out there and still have a little bit of some sun when I get home.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm not upset about anything, but I do prefer it the other way, because whenever it gets darker quicker, it just kind of makes it easier for me to go to bed. Summer's always a little more difficult with having to get up so early, and then you get those nice sunrises in the morning show as well, showing people those, because the sun rises before 7 o'clock now, and that's not going to be the case next week.
No, it'll be more closer to that 8 o'clock hour, I would assume. We add another hour to that as well. But as we get longer into the days leading up to one of our longer days here, the beginning of summer, we are going to see that creeping back down a little bit. Yeah. But hey, all in all, we're going to get through Wednesday. Just make sure you have those alerts turned on. Otherwise, the rest of the week, uncertain for your weekend, as Andrew was talking about, but a lot of the temperatures will be feeling comfortable, if not a little bit below average there on our Thursday and today.
Yeah, and some positivity too. We gain about 40 minutes or so of daylight in the month of March. So just a sign of the season getting closer to summertime.
All right, I think that's going to do it for another edition of the WTOC First Alert Weather Podcast. For meteorologist Andrew Gordon, I'm meteorologist Dave Turley. We will see you next time.